Hello?
Come on out of there, whoever you are.
I'm sorry, lady. I need the house.
Yeah.
We sit in the sun, in maze, we sleep, and we dream. Each of us dying slowly, the prison of our minds. We sit in the sun, in maze, we sleep, and we dream. Each of us dying slowly, the prison of our minds.
Yeah.
A planet of fire below us. Is it a new world, or will it consume us all?
I demand to know what's going on in my house.
Yeah.
It's more horrifying. Is it a new world, or will it consume us all?
Hello. Welcome back to another shock-filled episode of whatever the hell this is. Today we will be returning to Darkside Detective, and then possibly moving on to something else. How's everyone doing today? All you people out there in imaginary chatland. Glad it's Friday. I had tried to stream yesterday, but full day's work followed by the gym followed by streaming just turned out to be too much. So we'll be doing, as I said, some Darkside Detective, and then depending on time, possibly moving on to something I had intended to do, which is something a bit weirder for our Friday stream. So without further ado, here we go. Now, you may recall when last we left our detective that he had solved 3 cases and was moving on to the police farce. I will hopefully be able to do a bit better job with my dialogue options today. As far as voices go, I've brought extra water so I don't get dehydrated. Case summary for police farce. Today is my day away from cases to catch up on paperwork. Are you ready, detective? Huh? For McNugget's retirement party. The caterer has arrived with the cake. Grab your gift and let's go. Gift. I thought you'd forget. Don't worry, I put your name on my gift. It's from us! Let's see what we've got here. A pinboard. My notes from open cases. The downtown ghoulie man. Possibly undead flasher. Mirror Jane, a woman appearing in mirrors to other women who look exactly like her. Lycanthropy, a wig made from werewolf hair, which turns others into werewolves when worn. Maybe that should be werewolves? This is my life now. This is Twin Lakes FM, featuring me, Dick Brickman, bringing you Dick Brickman Presents the Weather with me, Dick Brickman. It's raining. Tune in later for me, Dick Brickman, presenting Dick Brickman's Tricky Kicks, featuring me, Dick Brickman. When all this Darkside stuff is put to bed, I'm going to see the whole world. Sure you are, detective. I actually don't know what's in these. Keys were lost before this became my office. My trusty coat goes with everything from shirt and tie to sportswear. My folder's full of weird goings-on in Twin Lakes. This computer has been with me since the beginning. The budget won't allow for an upgrade. Anything else, detective? I see 2 of the 3 bulbs are lit. That's good. My various attempts to file reports for the things I've seen. Hurry up! Cake! Do you think I'll have my own office someday? I hope so. Nothing beats that first cup of coffee. If only I had a slice of pie to go with it. I received coffee. A glass of cold, refreshing... Nope, this is warm and oddly colored. Why is this broken? Maybe the motor is busted? I'll look at this later. Okay. I don't remember this place being so run down. The Queen and the King. King and the Chief. Guess these are the photos you get when you're married to the mayor. The king won this for being the best diver on the force. I don't recall anyone else being allowed to participate. I just stole his trophy. This one looks homemade. Not being the queen. Hair on the force. Okay, I'll give him that one. I see. He has all 3 bulbs working. Sports backs. Fancy. His machine has an off button. Impressive. There's space in here for a pottery wheel. It's full of signed pictures of McKing. Figures. This place is fabulous. One day you could be as important as this. You just gotta get yourself that first case. I solve cases all the time. Arresting a giant marshmallow man isn't a case, it's the result of too much coffee. Murakami and at a new high score in whatever he's playing. Damn it, how am I meant to get better than him if you keep making me do work? Tell me that, eh? Off to the Murakami's desk. I could always have some reason to walk around talking to people instead of doing work. Broken wires. Murakami won't care if they're gone. I think I have a kleptomania problem. Pressure seems gone. I should fix it before it's needed. No talk. Working. Friendly as ever, Wazinski. Go away. Fire! I mean fire. You're meant to say surprise, detective, not fire. The gifts are on fire. They sure are impressive. Gifts are on fire and nobody seems to care. Damn drunken cops. 2 days left to retirement, and I'm in a room with an uncontrolled fire. Just like the old gypsy woman said, you can't say that. I love all the blues we have at these things. What about the fire? Keep your complaining to yourself, Killjoy. Chief, there's a fire. Here we go. I've told you detectives before, I can't solve every little thing for you. Honestly, it's like I've uncovered a crime ring this, and I've lost my gun that with you lot. Well, not today. I'm relaxing and having a drink. In silence, detective. In silence. Julie, there's a fire. This party is on fire. I'm going to devour that thing. Hands off, officer. We're not cutting into it yet. But, Chief, is the cake really more important than the fire? Actually, who brought fire? We discussed this last time. No more gifts of fire. Goddamn cops thinking they're Prometheus. We use the same banner for every retirement. Budgets have to be cut somewhere, detective. Slashed budgets explain why the sprinkler system isn't putting out that fire. That's interesting. Why don't you go do some detecting, detective? Why are the sprinklers broken? What's going on here? Exclamation mark. This is no time for reading whiteboards. I need to put that fire out before wandering around. Well, let's see here. I've got coffee, I've got fan motor, I've got a busted fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher with no pressure. Apart from the hole for the air supply, the King's Trophy is actually a working airtight helmet. If I found a tube, I could get this back in action. There's a magnet in here if I can find a way to pop open the tiny latch. Tommy's broken headphone wires. A reminder of what to get him for his birthday. Sweet Joe, Black Oil, Uncle Moo Moo's morning surprise, the liquid fighter. I'd be out of work if Chief Scully found me doing that. I don't want my colleagues seeing me at that. Okay, so I can't go that way. Back to the offices. I need to put that fire out before wandering around. Okay. So let's... Oh, there we go. I missed that. Hey, I wanted with extra cream on my slice. I can 100% say this is not something I expected to do today. Ooh. Fix a fire extinguisher with a can of whipped cream. Nicely done. That's that taken care of. Wait. What's that? Urn. You mean our gift? Julie, where did you get that? Let me guess, the evidence room. In that mysterious Chinese shop we visited last week. Not close. Investigated. We investigated it. Gremlins. That seems like racial profiling to me. Julie, he clearly had gremlins, which you then brought to the station. Well then, case closed. Julie, the lid was burnt off. The gremlins are missing, and the station is crumbling apart. Like I said, case closed. Julie, find them before somebody gets hurt. Here, take this. Cake. Julie receives Gremlin Urn. What I can see, nobody else got him anything nice anyway. Let's see. Go this way now? Alright. What have we got here? And he said, "Hey, that's my kid's candy. Give it back." So I told him I was the mayor's husband, then showed him my badge and fined him for obstruction of justice. We are so bad. I don't have time to talk to you. Isn't there a Wookiee or something you should be arresting? That's not what. Whatever, McLean. Live long and prosper, dork. It must be so great for you to have a real detective like McKing around to learn from. That'll be us one day, Detective. You'll be McKing and I'll be Dallas. You know what I mean. The staff bathroom. So horrible, people only enter for the most dire of emergencies. Hands off, McLean. Something's broken the evidence door. Probably you and your idiot sidekick's fault. In this case, he's right. I'm going to fix it with my manly skills and muscles. If you really want to help, you can fetch me some more coffee. No need for sugar. Dallas is enough sweetness for me. Oh, you're so bad. Oh, I hate that. Look, he's so dreamy. I knew you were good for something, McLean. Alright, so we did that bit already. A doggo! Their Cal. He was meant to be a sniffer dog, but somebody decided to train him only to sniff out candy. But think of all the candy-related crimes he's been able to help solve. True, we did have an alarmingly high rate of candy smuggling in Twin Lakes. Good job, officer. Buff. Nothing in here but laxatives. Somebody's put him there to suggest us cops are all full of Twin Lakes Police Department. How can I direct your call? I shouldn't have given him this coffee yet. Now that I don't need it, I find it working. Or extinguished. I might as well take another cup. Yeah. Liked coffee. More potent than average coffee. There, nope. That's already taken care of. Hands off. My lunch is in there. Why is it hidden in work files? So nobody here will touch it. You're a wise man, Banks. Banks was my mentor when I joined the force. That's why they must be down to desk cop. You liars. Trying to hack the database and steal all human info. We should try him, Detective. Interesting idea. See him doing that, I'll never live it down. This is the first bit of actual police work I've seen in this place today. Didn't tell me anything. Friday evening, 7 p.m. But crime never sleeps. Turn it down a little bit there. Oh, I can't interact with this person. Oh, sorry. Us, well, we take shifts, and we're off on public holidays. Gotta take those rest days, Detective. There we go, now I can talk to him. Can't talk now, Detective. The system's broken and I can't figure out why. Who's to say? It's a mug. Well, run-of-the-mill mug. I don't know why I feel this need to comment on every item in a room. The servers are for the TLP. Ha! Bite! Ha! Ouch. Don't get too close, Detective. That thing's a biter. I just got... Yeah. Thanks, Dooley. Thumbs up. Okay. Alright. Let's see what else we got here. Holding cells. Tam! Old Tam loves to whittle. Whittle, whittle, whittle. You can't have a knife in prison. Tam can, and Tam has. Afraid I have to confiscate that. Tam does not have warmth for you in his heart. Tam puts his name places so he knows what's his and what's not. Try not to let your incarceration get you down. Detective? I'm going to use my detectiving skills and say you're in for solicitation. Impressive. Your guess, not his soliciting. Anyway, hand them over, Roy. And what over? Your matches and cigars. I wish I'd never met you, Detective. Ooh. Well, I got one of the two things. Did you hear? No, I'm not doing this. I just don't find toilets all that funny. The hose they used to loop through the cell door handles to lock the place up at night. Chief Scully really pulled this place into a sort of order, didn't she? Oh, now they can't lock the place up. This guy's in police protection for informing. We put that up to cover the hole the prisoner dug to escape. Sadly for him, he dug his way into the rest of the station. Seriously, what am I meant to say about them that isn't literally toilet humor? This part? Nope. Let's go to the garage. Seriously, what does he get all these nice things? A bulletproof sports car. Jerk. Our government-issued block with wheels. Dispatches junction boxes. Crew closed. Hey, detective. I think you're a better detective than the king. Thanks, Dooley. That really means a lot. I think you're a better sidekick than Dallas. I don't have her legs, though. Well, no. But if you did, that would be theft, wouldn't it? There's a serious draft coming from those vents. The bolts probably just need to be tightened up. The heck? You don't look very busy. Power tools bust. Union says they don't work. Not my place to go against the Union. You seem familiar. Do I know you? Not that I know of, no. Well, he has a name, so probably we do. I think the tiny picket fences really make this place seem homely. Good addition by the chief. And if I borrow this? Why not? Can't see me getting back to work anytime soon. Monkey wrench, okay. The water pipes run all over the station, from the briefing room to the shooting range. The system seems broken right now. Probably the gremlin's fault. Should have picked an easier voice. Oh well. Lump of cold, hard clay. I have no use for this right now. Spare pipes from the work that's happening. Anything else? Nope. Seems like it. I think I that presumably goes with that. Putting this into here gives me diving help. We got a monkey wrench, matches, a knife, fan motor. Spiked coffee, which will get him out of there. but how will I get into there? Go to the shooting range. Oh, geez. How did it get a gun? Why is everything so unsafe in this station? Pew pew dee! Looks like our guys are good enough shots to be stormtroopers. They're bust. I want them to work again. I need to fix the system in the basement. Junction box. That thing has good aim. We should get it on the force. Right. Shooting range. Brush. Reception. Evidence room. Alright, let's try the spiked coffee. Haha, keep the coffee coming, Flame. I can drink this stuff all day. Get out of my way! How to fix this with my manly skills and muscles. But mostly finding a way to cheat this magnetic lock. Well, if I use that with that... If I... Oh, something more delicate. Like a knife? Okay, something smaller than a knife and more delicate than a monkey wrench. It's not that. Let's see. Oh. These drawers are full of all sorts of rubbish. Like bobby pins. Actually, can I borrow one, Sally? You can just have one. I won't want it back after whatever you've done with it. Smart. Alright, there we go. I think I can pry the shell. Yes. Perfect, now I have a magnet. This magnet should reverse the polarity and let me in. Very noisy kids game. That's not evidence I'm hiding it from Murakami till I beat his top score. Hope this illegal magical tome will be okay in here when the door is bust. I wonder what dialect of English uses bust like. Roleplay books, not actual contraband, but dangerous reading nonetheless. But not too dangerous for our weekly game. Foolish. A plastic skull. Surprisingly more dangerous occult item than a real skull. All that remains from the mysterious walking luggage that ate everything case. Get it? That's very pressure reference. Knockout gas. This could be handy if I want to be able to leave that party early. Jars full of semen. And the mysterious figurine sailor case. The king's topless self-portraits. He signed them in for the crime of being too awesome for the general public. A box of odd socks. Our best people are looking into a ring of crooked washing machines behind the robbery of the other halves. Who do you think wrote these dumb scripts for a comedy game about two cops investigating weird crimes? Nothing. Nobody. Shut up. What? Chomp chomp clawface. Too dangerous to get near. I need to find a way to knock it out. Like that? That would knock me and Dooley out for two. I need to find some protection first. Dooley, take this hose outside and keep the fresh air coming. Take this, you little monster. Uh-oh. Bang. Gas sound. While it's unconscious, I'll stuff it into my seemingly magical pocket. Evidence gremlin. I can't make that out through this helmet. Oh, that was... Oh, I guess I won't take it back. Okay. Leave me alone. I'm taking this helmet off before I go out there. No need to walk around the station raising suspicion. Or being made fun of by everyone. Alright. I now have an evidence gremlin. The gas still has this one snoring surprisingly deeply for something so small. What would I do with him? Get rid of the other one? No, no, Gramps, no, no! Great, I've managed to get it all angry. He's pulling things apart at double speed now. Oh no, that didn't work. What if I stab him to death? Alright, I won't stab the gremlin to death. I hope he's okay in there. The people of Twin Lakes need a hero to look up to. Alright. Yep. Candle. Oops. The gremlins have broken everything else around here. I'm sure that if I didn't remove this now, it'd fall off soon anyway. Neither of us believes that, but I'm so into this. Fight the system. Julie, we're... Speak for yourself. I'm breaking this place down from the inside. I kinda knew that. Oh dearie me. I did not expect that to happen. Feel bad about it? No. Okay. Alright. Let's say the pet broke because some maverick cop was crawling through it. I'll take this for my trophy cabinet. I mean, I'll take that to be repaired. Yeah, that's second. Detective, how do you get all these things into your pockets? Origami. Still nicer than our car. Alright, let's see here. Oh, okay. Shooting range. Okay, I thought it would protect me from him. Okay. I wish it would tell me what was broken with it. Okay. Right, so I have matches, a knife, phone wires, an evidence gremlin. I got in there. Nothing further this way. What if I put him? Okay. I put in the toilet. Okay, jeepers. My insides make it stop. Right, so it's not that. Will Lisinski talk to me now? Nope. Sorry, I should be reading still. I don't understand why we're celebrating yet. I've got 2 days left till retirement. We can't risk you not making it and us losing out on a party. I should be offended, but I do like a good party. Oh, he slipped into Queen for a second. Okay. I don't know much about how all this works, but I know that's not right. Nope. Okay. Nope. Okay. Yeah, first bit of detective work. Alright. Do you have any suggestions, Officer Cal? Nope. Holding cells, stairwell, shooting range, evidence room. Boxes of jam jars with one scoop taken out. From the unsolved Scooper case where they'd appear at crime scenes after the investigations had started. Oh, that was me. I like eating toast while I think, but always forget to bring the pot with me afterwards, so I keep opening new ones. Harmless. Dooley, we spent a lot of taxpayers' money investigating that. Harmless. Else in here? Hundreds and hundreds of tiny hats. Mad made them to keep mice warm during the winter, but the mice turned out to be a gang of robbers, so we confiscated. Alright, so we got the jam jars. Yeah, more jam jars. Oh, it's a kids game. Thumb scripts. Got everything here. Okay. Desk. Oh, okay. Nope. Okay, so don't set the gifts on fire again. Can I combine any of these things? No. Combine that. Can't combine that. Combine that. Okay, none of those things. What's back in my desk? Let's see. And we're coming to you live from the dog track where the gates have just been opened. Number 4, Thaco has taken the lead, followed by Fumble and Critical Hit with Natural 20 taking up the rear. Thaco and Fumble are neck and neck with Critical Hit closing in. This is exciting, listeners. We have a three-way tie. Some of you could win a lot of money here today. For those of you just tuning in, I'm Dick Brickman, and this is Brickman Has Gone to the Dogs, man. And wait, no, I missed the end. Sorry, listeners. Yeah. Vote. Okay, finally have it. It's locked. Okay. This was a gift from my old mentor, Sergeant McDesk. Nothing over there. Write-ups. Alright, so I need to find a way to get the gremlin out of dispatch. I can't stab him with a knife. I can't set him on fire. I can't hit him with the hood. And when I show him Granddad, he gets mad and starts doing double speed tears. And we'll mug the screens. I used to work in dispatch until I dispatched the entire force to the chief's house trying to order myself some late-night pizza. Can't talk now, detective. The system's broken and I can't figure out why. We did that already. Could it be the gremlin behind you? Oh. I already did that. These drawers are full of all sorts of rubbish, like smaller drawers. Where else would I keep them? Alright, the next bit. Listed him down. Let's go here again. Old Tam ain't got nothing to do no more. Prison is a punishing place. So nothing else to do with him. Detective? Sorry for taking your matches. I'm not so sure that you are. Hey, maybe you should be a detective too. Alright, so nothing with that. Let me talk to the rat again. Yeah, okay. Forming. We got the poster. We got another toilet. Further that way. I feel like such a goof. Why can't I remember? If we go to the garage. Have you ever tried to, I don't know, open something like that just using a screwdriver? I've always been more of a lateral thinker. What was that? Alright, so this will fix that. Okay, let's see. I need to drag the wires from one node to the other same colored node without crossing them. Okay, that's not too bad. Can I move the nodes? No, I cannot. Oh, alright, so I wanna... Oops. Oop, oop, oop. Oop. There we go. Eek. One dead gremlin. Yes, the system is back online. Time to do some hardcore cop work. Let's... Oh yeah, the vent. Can't talk now, detective. The system's back online and there are people who need our help. Hands off, detective. They just came back online. I won't risk them failing again. I'm glad that's fixed at least. Okay, so we accomplished that. It's passed out. Let's get it out of here. Oh, can I give them to Dooley? No. Okay. So what else is broken that needs fixing? The sprinklers are broken. But the sprinkler's broken. Okay. So sprinklers are broken in there in the basement, he said. Assuming the basement is this place. Let's get the water flowing again in case another fire starts. Oh, a pipe puzzle. System seems broken right now. Probably the gremlin's fault. Alright. So this is the type of puzzle I thought we had. There we go. The sprinklers should be working now. You have me out of work, so you will. Well, at least they're working now in case the second fire breaks out for everyone to ignore. Alright, so. Well, what else am I trying to do? We need to find those gremlins, Dooley. Okay. Alright. What else is broken? Oh, the shooting range, right. Bang, bang. Junction bomb. This should achieve something. Did. The creature is, what? I don't know, I expected more. Now it's armed and wet. Great job, me. True. Maybe if we wait around long enough, it'll catch a cold. Yeah, the stormtrooper's bit. Oh, okay. Anybody got a gun lying around? Detective? Didn't you see the fire chief? Of course, it was right there. And you didn't do anything? What can I do? If people want to re-gift the fires I got them last month, then let them. What? You were the one who set those fires around the station last month? They were beacons of hope. All very metaphorical. They were real fires. Metaphors can be very real. You think our barely legal goblins and ghouls division should have a bigger office than the mayor's husband? Just be glad you're not down in the basement. Thanks for supporting the Darkside division, Chief. Don't thank me, just keep the city clean of those Oogie Boogie men. And the Oogie Boogie women. And non-binary Oogie Boogies. No discrimination in regards to Oogie Boogies. Except for the discrimination of keeping them out of Twin Lakes. Apart from that one, yes. I think there may be gremlins loose in the station. Seriously, we just talked about this. You have one job. One job. No Oogie Boogies in Twin Lakes. This station is in Twin Lakes. Get the situation under control, Detective. On it, Chief. Bye. No party for you two until this mess is cleaned up. Get to it. Aww. Alright, well at least I talked to her. And put this thing here. Pile of gifts, nothing else there. Right. Farewell. Anything else in the evidence room? I already did that. Magical tome. Just a kid's game. skull, wizard hat, other books. How did the thing even get in here? This room is meant to be locked down. I'm just shocked you see them. See and understand them. Hey, little green men in the station, right in my ballpark. I'm just shocked you're taking it so well. This is a world apart from your normal boring cop life. Okay. Him, nothing there. Don't need that anymore. The hood from the king's car. Bulletproof but not air vent proof. Oh, I know what the problem is. I'm an idiot, that's what the problem is. No, not on him, on yourself. Oh, bullet hole. I just have to angle it like this. Now, shocking way to wrap this up. Are you proud of that bun? More than I should be. Finally, Dooley grab the gun and I'll take this guy. Okay, let's get back to the office before somebody sees us. Let's lock these suckers into their new urn and get back to that party. Party! In you go, sleepy monster. Back to captivity, my monstrous pal. Welcome home, Oops. Oops. Is that it? What do we do now? Rush from down the toilet and go back to the party? We need to make a new urn. A magical one that can actually hold them. Great, I need to make a new urn. Well, I know what to do with that. This, I understand. This is good urn-making material. Thank goodness our douchey office neighbor. Okay, that softened that up. And now I can get my ghost on. Let's do this! How do you know how to make an urn? I watched that film Ghost a lot. For research. There we go. There's no point. Oh, magic. Okay. Go back to the evidence room, get the wizard's thingamajigger. Maybe there will be instructions in here for sealing magical urns. Let's see. Warding rituals, spell the bycast, doing the dishes, and diagram. How to seal magical urns. Handy. Time for some finger crafting of runes. One down. That's two. And that's that done. Thank goodness. Let's get this somewhere safe. Okay, lock fixed. Gremlin stashed away. What have we learned from this Dooley? Not to eat so much sugar, I'm crashing now. I don't really remember much of what happened. But I'm sure it was nothing important. Now let's get back to the party. Cake's all gone. Hey, where's all the cake gone? We ate it all. Why is this place a mess? What did you two do? Well, there was. And somebody let off a gas grenade. Nasty big pointy teeth. The car was smashed when we got there. The king did it. Another one to file under Darkside antics. Probably for the best, yes. Okay, well, you two better start cleaning. The budget doesn't allow for both your capers and custodial staff. Aw man, chores and no cake? This day did not play out the way I hoped. Womp 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 womp. Case closed. Well, that was fun. It took me a bit longer than I meant to, and I am not going to continue doing that voice because my throat is dead. Let's switch back to our main for a minute there. I'm gonna quit out of that. And so that was fun, though, wouldn't you say? I enjoyed my stay. The Darkside Detective saves the day once again, this time from some gremlins. Now, I had intended for Fridays to be the weird game period, and Mondays to be more mystery themed, but of course, I wanted to knock out some more of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go mute for a second while I poke around on some things and enjoy the musical stylings of the hopefully stream safe music in the background while I sort that out. So just a moment. I'll go to my BRB screen instead.
It's Michael's big summer sale. Score buy one, get one free decor, floral, and more.
Get in a Kia Celtic.
Little Caesar's Chicago-style pizza is loaded with
Hello. Welcome back from our brief commercial break. I've decided that what better content to have for the second hour of my stream when nobody's watching than some React content. So I thought I might as well watch the second season of The Real, because I enjoyed the first one when I watched it previously. That video is gone because it was one of my pre-alpha test screens. But we're going to switch over to that. And hopefully it will be just as good as the first. I'm going to switch over here. Let's see if this... Oh. That didn't work. Bear with me for a moment. Okay. That. Oh, it would help if I had the... There we go. Just had to... Oh. I see. bear with me. I forgot that I had it in columned mode. I'll just there. Size it. There we go. And here we begin. The universality of the theory of psychoanalyst. Universality of the theory of psychoanalyst Jacques Lacan demonstrated his capacity to apply even in cultures so distant from the Western one. The need for a connection between the symbolic, imaginary, and real registers becomes essential for the formation of the human psychic apparatus, enabling it to grasp everyday reality and adapt to culture. Let's bring myself down a little bit there. The so-called Borromean knot, the interdependence of the three registers among themselves. Louis Cazette, 32-year-old mother, Tunisian immigrant living in France. She presents the case of her 5-year-old daughter, SZ. My daughter, unlike other girls her age, cannot see me. Not in the sense that she is blind, but she cannot see me as her mother, nor anyone in human form, nor as a person. I'll just pause this for a second here. I'm just going to pop that up to there. She gets scared when she sees me saying all she sees are shapeless masses, geometric structures, and viscera covering all the walls. Human bodies are purely made of visible muscles and organs. She says that I'm a being devoid of reality, that I transmit nothing but horror and distrust, just like all the people who approach her and who speak to her with sounds that are nothing but terrifying noises. How does she say that, though, if... The following images are representations of what the girl, as said, has described in the sessions guided by Dr. Jacques-Alain Miller. The walls of the house. The facade of the mental health care building. the shape of one of the doctor's attendees. What the girl says is her mother. The girl was placed under observation and her case was discussed at the International Symposium on the Psychoanalysis of the Real in Buenos Aires in the year 2000. Dr. Alexander Samar was invited, and all the material for the case analysis was handed over to him in the USA.
Jacques Lacan a présenté en 1966 l'un de ses schémas les plus audacieux pour comprendre la relation de l'enchevêtrement des trois registres, le schéma R.
So, commercial break. Perfect timing.
Dans ce graphe, basé sur l'homologie de deux triangles opposés, à savoir, le représentant de l'imaginaire et le représentant du symbolique, ils apparaissent dans ce dessin comme une approximation d'une formulation présentée sur un plan projectif. La notion derrière le travail de ces deux triangles s'explique par la manière dont l'un d'eux est projeté en raison de sa similarité proportionnelle avec l'autre sur le plan, tout comme l'ombre d'une maison est projetée sur le sol en fonction de la direction
I
des
should
rayons
probably
du
be
soleil.
reading this for those of you without the benefit of French. Just in case you can't see
Sur
the
le
screen.
plan, que
In the
Lacan
plane,
conçoit
which Lacan
initialement
initially
comme une
conceived as a
où
sphere,
les triangles du
where the
symbolique
triangles
et
of
de
the symbolic
l'imaginaire obéissent
and
à
the
la réponse de
imaginary
la
obey the
non-satisfaction
response
du
of not
cinquième
fulfilling the
axiome de
fifth
la
axiom
géométrie
of Euclidean
euclidienne.
geometry.
De cette manière,
In
en
this way,
fractionnant
by
ces deux
breaking
points
those
vers
2
l'horizon
points toward the
infini de la
infinite
courbe,
horizon of the
nous
curve, we
obtenons ce
obtain
que
what
l'on
is known
appelle
as
la
the
bande de
Mobius strip,
Mébius, une surface
a
non orientable
non-orientable
avec un
surface
seul
with a
côté
single
et un seul
side
bord,
and a
qui
single
donne
edge,
l'impression
which gives the
d'avoir un
impression of
côté
having an inner
intérieur et un
and an
côté
outer side.
extérieur.
So as you can see, it just moves around and around. Wherever you start, it eventually winds up back there, even though it
Il
goes
s'agit
over
de
the
la
whole
bande
thing.
du réel dans le schéma.
This is a strip of the real in the R scheme.
En fait, le graphe suit
In
vraiment la
fact, the
forme
graph
d'un
truly
cross-cap.
follows the shape of a cross cap.
Ainsi, dans
In
un
this
premier
way, in
temps,
the initial stage,
l'enfant reçoit le
the child
symbolique à
receives the
travers le
symbolic
langage,
through
les
language,
normes
social
sociales,
norms,
la
the
construction
human
humaine de
construction
la
of reality, and
réalité et tout ce
everything
qui
that
préexiste.
pre-exists.
Dans le
In the
triangle, nous
triangle,
situons la
we
triade
locate the
externe de
external
l'idée
triad of the
parfaite du
perfect
moi,
idea of the
l'être
self,
I,
letter
la
I,
protection
the
totale
complete
du
protection of the
maternel,
paternal,
l'être
letter
M,
M,
et le
and the
pouvoir
power of
de
omnipotence,
l'omnipotence,
letter
l'être
P.
P. Tous sont
All of
médiatisés par
them
le discours
mediated
de
by the
l'autre,
discourse
l'être A,
of the big
c'est-à-dire
other,
la
that is the very
symbolisation même de la
symbolization
construction
of social
sociale.
construction.
Cependant,
However,
l'enfant
the
est
child is
encore
still
trop
too
rudimentaire
rudimentary
et
and
se
perceives
perçoit
themselves
lui-même et
and
le
the
monde à
world
partir de
from
sa
their full
pleine
biological
potentialité
potential in relation
biologique
to
par
their
rapport à
only
ses
basic
seuls
need,
besoins fondamentaux,
nourishment and
l'alimentation et
evacuation.
l'évacuation. Il ne se reflète que
They
dans
only
le
reflect in the
registre
register of
du
the
réel,
real,
et le monde lui est
and the world is
présenté tel
presented to
qu'il
them
est,
as it
à
is,
partir du
from the
vide
horrific
horrifiant
void
de
of senseless
l'existence dépourvue
existence.
de sens. L'enfant ne voit pas les gens.
So basically, in the earliest stages of development, the child's mind hasn't been assimilated into societal structures. All they feel, all they perceive is the most basic existence, which is eat shit. And without all the intermediary steps and filters that society and consciousness impose upon the pure reality, they can see it for what it is.
Il ne
The
voit que
child
la
does not see
brutalité de la
people,
nature.
they only see the brutality of nature. Dr. Alexander Simard, head of the Department of Anomalous Reality Investigation Cases, presenting the case, etc., regarding the mirror stage. When we realize that a child perceives reality from the real, we understand that it occurs due to their biological incapacity to structure the image of the world through an adaptation process. Jacques Lacan described this in the mirror stage. which typically happens between 6 and 18 months in all children. However, due to intricacies related to jouissance, the functioning of which we completely disregard in childhood, possibly due to traumas, children could continue to perceive the world from the real into advanced ages. When they have never seen themselves in a mirror or any reflection, it could happen that they remain perpetually in an omniscient position of their biological condition, alienated from any meaningful sense of their own human existence. The reflection in the mirror allows the human being to be enchanted by what they see beyond in a virtual dimension. Something that captivates them, something they desire to attain, but being virtual, they can never truly touch, like a woman on the internet. When they see their own reflection, they become enchanted by that image. Desiring to possess it, and as they are unable to even touch it, they become alienated by the idea that this image is themselves. This is what Sigmund Freud called the primary narcissism. I just want to take a moment to point out that in all practical psychological applications, Sigmund Freud is largely discredited at this point. He projected a lot of his own issues into generalizations, and so although there's a lot of the terminology gets thrown around, it's primarily in fields outside of psychoanalysis and psychology in general, and more of the artistic side. However, this is not as straightforward, as there have been cases in which certain individuals, even when seeing themselves in the mirror, fail to immerse themselves in the imaginary register. They do not achieve a fascination with their own image and never manage to knot the three registers, living alongside beings they cannot explain in a world devoid of logic, social and cultural meaning. A place where everything is the purest and most brutal aspect of nature. Where one coexists with masses of flesh and organs emitting strange sounds. Dr. Miller reports the case of Clarisse Labourdetinier, a 17-year-old teenager diagnosed with mirror impossibility, and who has been trapped in the real since age of 3. This is one of the few cases where the person continues to live, not succumbing to clinical decline, but the impossible record begins to take hold of her body. The following register is an audio recording at 4 in the morning, in the room where she is confined. So it hasn't really been explained what the cause of the misshapen nature of people who are able to perceive the real is. Because it's understandable that they would see other people like that, but vice versa is odd. Professor Jacques Miller has been invited by Dr. Alison Simard to present the impossible cases. Words of Professor J. A. Miller, derived from the studies of Dr. René Spitz, who, despite being an opponent of Jacques Lacan's analytical technique, conducted very precise studies regarding the issue of impossibility of the imaginary in some infants. In fact, his studies always remained in the line with what we work at as the real. Among his very precise observations in the 1950s, he noticed that some infants did not recognize faces. Their countenance was sad, lost, and empty. They often cried a lot, and over time their activity diminished significantly. They also exhibited stereotyped and repetitive movements as if trying to adapt to a world impossible to comprehend. They continued to see a hostile world, a world made of the real, and isolated themselves from others. It sounds in some ways like an extreme spectrum disorder, except with additional body horror added on, as we saw in those pictures. Studies by Dr. Renee Spitz, 1952. That baby. He's just a little guy. Even scarier. Hero Wars. The child has their mother in front of them and reacts without any kind of affection, repeating patterns incongruent with their age. This condition could be due to a psychic impossibility to construct oneself in the world. In fact, this little child hasn't uttered a single word and doesn't understand basic social language. When the child turned 5, he was taken to a psychiatric research center in Cleveland, from which he disappeared. Dr. Spitz gave up 2 years later. In the cases I will present to you, you can observe with care that these infants, for whom it is expected they won't live beyond 3 years, at a certain point, if they can survive this real and impossible reflex for social bonding, lose certain biological vision capabilities and their eyes begin to be severely affected. They began to lose their vision, but also their eyes as biological substances, leaving those internal structures exposed. Due to the impossibility of communication in every sense, they didn't show pain, nor were they able to convey their suffering, if suffering it was. Even as teenagers, some of them couldn't communicate properly. They struggled to understand that there was something wrong trying to interact with them. They were unaware of the concepts of parents, doctors, authorities, friends, and so on. They were in a relative mental coma. The situation was horrifying given the medical implications. They would become completely blind and they would gradually lose each of their sensory organs since the external world would be of no use to them, essentially lacking any meaning for their existence as human beings. We found ourselves compelled to study these cases, but we had to come up with something to comprehend their precarious and rudimentary inner world. We needed to see that real in some way, because when it's humanly possible in the first months of life, later in adulthood it is impossible to remember it due to the lack of memory for images. So when you're young enough to perceive the real, you're too young to form images. I wonder if those two things are related. Bauerman, Advisor of Registers, 1998. Through bioengineering in cooperation between the University of Paris and Texas Tech University, this device was created to account for what a person sees after surpassing the Lacanian mirror stage. We tried to reconstruct the visions of the infants before they lost their total visual capability. The results were astonishing because we were able to see the real for the first time in history. We managed to capture that real, which appears when human beings have not yet managed to tie the social communication. We have been able to see what hides in the foundations of our world. So pure, truly objective reality. This is how human beings truly are in their most primal form as a species inhabiting the universe. It's not that different. It is a social bond, the need for meaning, that allows us to recognize shapes, faces, emotions, ideas, forms, colors. This is how one of the infants sees their parents and the world that surrounds them. You have to think, though, that they have no concept of anything other than that. It would be less upsetting for them. This is how they see the hallways, the rooms, and the places that are so familiar to people who have surpassed the mirror stage. So again, if you've always grown up seeing things like that, there will be an alienation. You won't recognize yourself in the external reality, but it won't be as horrific as if the world around you suddenly became like this. It's interesting to note that rudimentary shapes persist. A hallway is still a hallway, and so on. The world is actually a strange place. We are alienated to a form that comforts us, that makes us feel at home, but there is nothing further from this. The question that arises is, what are we truly? Why do we insist on the purposes of existence? I guess we have no way of knowing if they're actually experiencing discomfort, or even if they have a way of recognizing comfort versus discomfort. The girl was found in an abandoned house on the outskirts of Redacted, appearing disoriented and not comprehending or obeying any commands. She was taken against her will. On examination, the following was noted. Her face was deformed by strange wires that protruded from her completely empty eye sockets. It was a tremendous shock for the doctors, who could hardly believe what they were seeing. She appeared almost like a zombie, something biologically impossible. But there she was, like a strange form of life that did not react coherently to anything. Photograph of the police outside the house. What the police found. Oh dear. The girl was later cleaned up at the hospital. So I guess real, at its purest form, exists as a bunch of black spaghetti, since that seems to be how they sense it as well. In psychoanalysis, particularly in its clinical child and adolescent branch, drawing tests hold utmost importance for understanding the psychic world of infants. With these drawings, it is even possible to gain a more accurate insight into the social environment in which they are involved. This is a drawing of a patient of Dr. Miller, a 9-year-old girl who is depicting her relationship with her sister. Bill describes her sister as an entity without a soul, not recognizing her as a person, and even expresses fear about what she's becoming. In this drawing, the patient was asked to illustrate how her life would be if she continued living with her sister. So is the girl? Professor Miller commented that in October of the year 2000, at the De La Riviere Hospital in Paris, a group of supposed adolescents arrived at the psychiatry wing with a very unusual physical condition. The cases were so unexpected, there was no medical consensus on their diagnosis. Patient identified as R, 18 years old. The parents of this teenager claimed to have found him in such a condition in the morning. When asked about his history, they mentioned that the teenager had exhibited facial wounds and his eyes had been blackening for the past 2 years. Parents, if your kid's eyes are blackening, take him to the doctor before he turns into spaghetti. Patient identified as K, 16 years old. This girl was found wandering in the outskirts of a suburb. The neighbors who took her to emergency said that she'd appeared in the neighborhood a few days ago. She had her face covered in spots like wounds and her eyes completely blackened. She couldn't understand anything until those strange wires came out. Patient identified as S, 18 years old. This boy was brought in by his parents, who witnessed the entire progression of the strange condition afflicting their son. They mentioned that their son had never learned to speak or communicate properly. He had been through many psychologists and psychiatrists, but no one knew what illness he might have. They didn't say anything about the first guy having those problems, which raises concern. They emphasized that once he completely lost his sense of vision, strange wires that moved like elongated black fingers began to sprout from his eye sockets. In some more severe cases, those wires had sprouted from different parts of the body, completely immobilizing the person. A couple of patients had indeed arrived completely consumed by this strange mass of wires, making their recognition impossible. These individuals even breathed or responded to certain external stimuli to some extent, but in terms of communicative abilities, it was in no way viable. Professor Miller was able to speak with one of the affected individuals, the only one who had somehow managed to mechanically communicate in a language somewhat similar to French and English, albeit very rudimentary. There's something horrifying. There is nothing. Experience of visualizing of life without existence. Professor Miller classified these cases as a direct attack of the real on the body, as after so many years of mirror impossibility, the function of the eyes would be senseless for the patients. Thus, la jouissance mortadella would emerge directly from the sockets of their useless eyes to seize the body permanently, finding a way to infiltrate everyday reality. La Biblioteca del Campo Freudiano de Granada presenta Jacques Alain Miller. It always throws me off to have a French first name and a very English last name. Conferencias de Granada, can't read that part. Conferencia de la Madrasa, 24th November 1989, or 1.989. Lucia A., a 32-year-old Spanish citizen, volunteered for Professor Miller's project. She underwent experimentation with the initial prototypes of the real visualization machine. Lucia was placed inside this RSI field generation drum. This drum begins to spin inside at such a speed that it manages to enter the real. I wonder what that implies about real versus how we perceive it. Recording of the experiment presented at the conference. Because if spinning fast makes you enter the real, that's an unusual.
Nous allons commencer l'expérience.
We will start the experiment, Lucia.
Dis-moi si tu es prêt.
Let me know if you're ready. Ready from the inside. I'm ready.
La machine a été allumée.
The machine has been turned on. You'll have to wait a few minutes until the generator is in optimal operation.
N'oublie pas.
Remember that you can request to be rescued from the visions of the real whenever you deem it appropriate. Is that okay?
C'est d'accord.
Yes. Okay.
S'il te plaît,
Please, Lucia, since your hands are free,
décris-moi ce que tu
describe to me what you're saying so I can see it on the screen.
vois à l'écran.
No response.
Prends ton temps.
Take your time.
Prends-le calmement.
Take it easy. I see. I distinguish some features, some figures, but they are very dark. The place is strange. I would describe it as a place where everything is upside down. Also, I see a figure with no facial features. Completely stained with a substance I couldn't define. It's looking at me, and I would say it's identical to you, but it reminds me a lot of you.
Est-ce que cette figure effectue
Does this figure perform any actions similar to mine? Yes, in fact, I perceived a movement where one would think the mouth is at the same time you spoke. So she's seeing the real of him. Perfect. Tell me more. There. Wait. I feel a horrendous heat on my face. It's starting to burn. Do you need us to get you out of there? No response. Whoops. Sorry about that, Lucia. The machine malfunctioned during the test. This is how Lucia's face looked when she was taken out of the drum. Oh dear. She went all Rorschach.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned as we attempt to commune with the devil.
That sounds like a bad idea. Kodak safety film.
Melanie Klein, eminent psychoanalyst in the year 1933, almost 40 years before the theorizations of Professor Jacques Lacan, had the opportunity to encounter a case of the real in one of her investigations for the newly emerging neuropsychiatric discipline. Without any prior reference, he was able to document what is known as the first case of an infant affected by the assault of the real. This case would later be revisited by Professor Miller in the conference on Julie Salfeld in Baltimore 2 years ago in 1994, where irrefutable evidence was presented of the only existing case of a person who managed to survive the real from infancy and could maintain living in the most natural state of species on Earth. The case presented in 1933 by Melanie Klein addresses the case of the Austrian boy Karl, whom she used to exemplify certain issues of child development, unaware that it would be a fundamental case for the study of the real and its impact on human beings from the symbolic plane of everyday reality.
This case, of which I will now provide some details, is that of a 4-year-old boy who, due to the poverty of his vocabulary and intellectual development, was at the level of a 15 or 18-month-old child.
This is very good audio quality for 1935.
The adaptation to reality and emotional relationships with his environment. This child, Karl, lacked affection and was indifferent to the presence or absence of the mother. From the beginning, he had rarely shown distress, and even in an abnormally reduced degree. Except for a certain special interest, which I will address shortly, he had almost no interest, did not play, and had no contact with his surroundings. Generally, he articulated unintelligible sounds and constantly repeated certain noises. When he spoke, he used his limited vocabulary.
He really does have a spectrum disorder quality to it.
Not only was he unable to make himself understood, he also had no desire to, showing no interest in social communication.
Now, if he can't tell you he has no desire, that's pure supposition on your
the
part.
mother sometimes clearly noticed in Karl a strongly negative attitude, expressed in that he often did precisely the opposite of what was expected of him.
So that means he understood what was expected of
If the
him.
mother managed to make him repeat some words along with her, Karl often completely altered them. Additionally, he would sometimes correctly repeat the words, but continued to repeat them incessantly and mechanically until everyone was fed up.
That doesn't mean he was doing it out of maliciousness.
Differ from that of a child considered
It sounds more like he didn't understand.
When a child within normal development shows opposition in the form of rebellion, and when he shows obedience, even accompanied by an excess of distress, he does so with some understanding and some reference to the thing or person involved. But in Karl's opposition and obedience, there was no affection or understanding at all. Moreover, when he hurt himself, he showed great insensitivity to pain and did not experience the universal desire in young children to be comforted and pampered. His fixation on aggression toward his own eyes was curious. His physical clumsiness was also very noticeable. He could not grasp knives or scissors, so he had to be fed by a third party at all times.
Because you need knives and scissors to
The
eat.
impression I got from his first visit was that his behavior was very different from what we observe in children with expected development. He allowed his mother to leave without showing any emotion, and he followed me to the office with absolute indifference. There, he ran around without any purpose, and he trotted around me several times as if I were just another piece of furniture, showing no interest in the objects in the room. While running from side to side, his movements seemed to lack coordination.
I do too.
The expression in his eyes and face was fixed, absent, and lacking interest, compared once again with the behavior of children with psychotic symptoms. I recall children who, without having true anxiety attacks, during their first visit would timidly and obstinately retreat to a corner or sit without moving at the table with toys or without playing, pick up one object or another only to leave them immediately. In all these forms of behavior, the great latent anxieties are unmistakable. The corner or the table are places to take refuge from me. But Carl's behavior lacked meaning and purpose, and had no relation to any affection or anxiety. Furthermore, at times, he would stand in the middle of the room and point to a corner, then proceed to make striking guttural sounds. I will now provide some details of Carl's previous...
I wonder if he was trying to communicate with something,
breastfeeding had been exceptional,
or if he vaguely understood that there was someone, her, to communicate with, and he was trying to tell her something.
The mother had insisted on an unsuccessful attempt to breastfeed him, and the child had been on the verge of starvation. Artificial feeding was then resorted to. Finally, when Carl was 7 weeks old, a wet nurse was procured for him, but it did not improve. He suffered from digestive disorders, early nearsightedness, and reddening of the eye sockets. Possibly his development was affected by the fact that, although he received all kinds of care, he was never given any special attention or symbolization of the surrounding objects. The mother's attitude toward him had been from the beginning one of excessive anxiety.
It was all the mother's fault. That figures.
In 1994, Professor Miller presented in his conference some captures from night vision cameras stationed in Innsbruck, Austria, the same city where Melanie Klein treated Carl before he fled after the 5th evaluation session. In this presentation, the analyses of 3 images, possibly of the boy who may have been living outside the city for 60 years, were revealed. The figure identified with the same name, Carl, shows an elongated body, devoid of all
what makes you think that this is him?
Torso. There is an absence and or flattening of the chest and ribs. The arms and limbs are disproportionate, and the neck is very thin, impossible to maintain in position if it were an
taking on
ordinary
those
human being.
spaghettification sort of look. Oh, hey buddy.
That he may have lost a large part of his body fat.
You think?
This, according to the latest studies by Jacques Lacan, extensively developed by Professor Miller, would indicate that jouissance would have consumed other areas of the body instead of the eye sockets. In this way, the absence of hair, genitals, and muscle development would be explained. The real could have infiltrated his entire body in order to survive within him, taking him as some kind of puppet. Knowing that all infants affected by this condition never manage to symbolize in the world or communicate properly, his body itself would have dispensed with a logical development for social contact.
Interesting, but oh.
From the same face, it can be concluded that both his eyes and mouth were not affected as expected.
But why?
Despite his humanoid appearance, they maintain, albeit deformed, the basic characteristics of a human being.
And why is he cheesing like that?
At this point, Professor Miller noticed that Carl was constantly smiling. This is consistent with a very basic capacity for socialization, and what Dr. René Spitz conceptualized within the first phase of life, culminating in the development of what is called social smiling around 3 months of age.
So he developed
In
just
this
much
stage,
slower.
the infant can only partially recognize the mother's face as a shadow moving, but recognizes it as close and trustworthy. Probably Carl, in his over 60 years of existence, has slowly advanced in developing a smile that responded precariously to the world. And thus, despite all the difficulties, he managed to limit the jouissance that should have completely consumed him, at best, during late adolescence.
Or possibly it's just an extremely delayed development, and other people, given the chance, would also progress very gradually through what we take to be proper development. I don't know, chat. What do you think? The real. Is it real? Good questions. Good questions. Let's move on to something a bit less dramatic and look at some Major League Baseball stadium facts you didn't know.
Money makes the world go round and round and round and round.
Money, 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 money.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into 20 random MLB stadium facts that you did
Random.
not need to know. Beginning with Progressive Field.
Oh, you didn't need to know.
In 2012, the then Cleveland Indians decided to install a corkscrew-shaped wind turbine. It only lasted a season and was located above the
I thought it was a water slide.
deck, kind of at the little corner there. Very strange, peculiar-looking thing. It was originally done as a project by Cleveland State University, a university located within the city, and was planned for 2 years. However, it was removed after just one season. That's why so many people don't know about it. In the early 1990s, there were many rumors of the city of Denver getting possibly an MLB team, and this stadium proposal truly is one of a kind. You can see they've got the stadium there in the center surrounded by a World Trade Center. So there was going to be a World Trade Center connected to an MLB stadium in the center. The stadium itself looks very strange with a massive upper bowl, almost gladiator-like.
Yeah, it kind of looks like
The
funnel.
Chicago Cubs are not the only team to have rooftop seating. Yes, the St. Louis Cardinals, during their expansion where they added on a massive stadium district located beyond left field, did also add on some sections of rooftop seating across the street from Busch Stadium. Not only that, they also do have kind of a hybrid hot tub / pool overlooking it as well, located in that same district with a very nice view of home plate. Comerica Park originally was built way too big. In the early 2000s, hitters complained all the time at how large the outfield was, and you can see the early photos of it. Notice the bullpen beyond right field.
That's pretty big.
Before any renovation, before they moved the fences in, they had the bullpen beyond right field. There was nothing in left field. It was just very, very deep to pretty much everywhere, especially out to left field. Well, to counter this, the Tigers moved the bullpens from right field to left field. They put up bleacher seating to cover the empty space that was created by the bullpens being moved, and they kept the original fence in left field and added another one in front of it. So you can see that fence on the left, that was the original dimensions of Comerica
I wish you'd taken a picture from the same perspective so we could have seen just one overlaid over the other kind of.
Center. I'm surprised they didn't keep the warning track. And you want to know the biggest issue? They did the exact same thing to center field. They once again decided to move the fences in. This just happened last year, the second time they did this with center field and right field. But there it is, the dreaded double wall. It was 420
pretty ugly
center, and they moved it in a few feet. The Cleveland Indians in the mid-1990s were selling out every game. No, literally, every single game. They had a sellout streak well above 400 games, and to counter the massive demand the Indians had with all their great offenses in the mid-1990s, they decided to construct temporary seating beyond the normal seats in center field. Yes,
that's
this
dangerous.
Is a very rare Easter egg when it comes to MLB stadiums. There were 2 sections of seating that went up right beyond the lower section, out slightly to the right of center field at Jacobs Field in the mid-1990s. And it's kind of ironic considering all of the changes now Progressive Field, after the name change, has gone through, to where they've eliminated so many seats in the right field upper deck, and they ruined the stadium, and now they had to re-renovate it after the terrible renovation. But originally, they were trying to fit more seats into Jacobs Field.
I mean, that's a good problem to have.
New Yankee Stadium was a multi-billion-dollar
These aren't nearly as
project,
interesting
and all the
facts as
bells
hoped,
and
though.
whistles included obstructed view seating. Yes, you had two bleacher sections closest to center field in left and right that were totally obstructed right next to a concrete wall. Now, to counter this, the Yankees actually had to take both of these sections out and expand the center field bar area. How does something like this happen? This stadium opened in 2009. It's not like we can't tell through renderings or through a computer that there are going to be obstructed seats. But yes, it was a huge problem. And that there's that hilarious photo of the entire right side, nobody sitting there, and then everyone's just on the left because you can't see anything if you're on the right side there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yankee Stadium, at least they did correct it. That's really the only big renovation that new Yankee Stadium has got.
Yeah, I mean, you see most of it.
It doesn't need a renovation. It is still a relatively new stadium, just over a decade old. Olympic Stadium in the mid-1970s.
Rip.
Where do I begin? Well, if you're wondering when the first billion-dollar MLB stadium was built, it was not the 1990s. It was not the 1980s. It was Olympic Stadium in 1976. The cost, $1.1 billion. Adjust that for inflation, that's well over $3 billion. And part of the reason the cost was so steep was the intricate retractable roof design.
Yeah, it was.
Yes, the retractable roof that only worked for 5 years, and seemingly come full circle. We just got word out of Montreal yesterday that the city plans to spend almost another $1 billion on this stadium to repair the roof of a cookie-cutter stadium that looks dilapidated from the exterior. Okay. Hey, at least the tower that holds the cables that don't work looks cool. In the 1990s,
yeah, it looked really cool, but why were they repairing it? I thought they were tearing it down.
Out of the dilapidated kingdom, they knew that they needed a roof.
This video
was Seattle, Washington. It does rain a lot, especially in April, but there's something a little bit
3
different
months
about
ago.
the
What the heck?
roof in Seattle. You can see there is no seal where you can climate control Safeco Field. There's always going to be open airflow, and that promotes the Mariners to leave the roof open, unlike other retractable roofs in MLB where if the wind chill is slightly below 70 degrees, they close it. There really isn't an incentive for the Mariners to close the roof unless there is legitimate precipitation. If you close the roof and it's 40...
Going back to the Montreal one for a second, it was like a canvas sort of thing. It was an interesting idea. It was way too early for them to be making a retractable roof, though.
Degrees outside, it's going to be 40 degrees inside. The newest MLB stadium opened back in 2020.
What the hell?
Originally designed and theorized in 2016, and the first ever renderings that were released included arches located beyond left field. However, these arches were publicly shamed. Many people thought it looked way too similar to Minute Maid Park, and in the updated renderings, we can see they've just turned the arches.
I just thought it looked weird.
To the side where those little floating sections are. And by the way, I do love those little floating sections. I think it's the best thing about
With that white design and you said wall, when you can just turn the wall to the side.
That wasn't done on purpose. After they had realized that it looked too much like Minute Maid Park, they just adjusted it by turning it to the side.
Yeah, but what's wrong with two parks looking the same?
Back in the mid-2000s, and it was built right on top of the same footprint as Old Busch Stadium.
Oh yeah, you can see it right up there.
Complete some of the construction as the season was ending for the Cardinals in the 2005 season, which created a problem when it came to opening the new Busch Stadium. Yes, there it is, and you can see the entire left field upper deck incomplete on opening day in the inaugural season for Busch Stadium. It was not complete, and people could not sit up in the left field upper deck for multiple months until it was finally finished. We all know that old Yankee Stadium had the legendary frieze, or the facade, going around the entirety of the upper deck, making the ballpark appear extremely grandiose. But when they completed their huge 1973 renovation, which added a bunch of rows of seating to the upper deck and weighed it down, they could not re-add the frieze around the stadium because it weighed too much, and the Yankees were without their iconic facade from the late 1970s.
Not the facade.
Until 2008. The old Metrodome was certainly unique. It was, of course, a multi-purpose, fully domed stadium, but the original configuration of the Metrodome in terms of baseball was kind of odd. You can see the entire right field upper deck wide open.
Those garbage bags down there.
Multi-purpose stadiums, the biggest issue is the rather large seating capacity for baseball games, dealing with all the empty seats. Well, to counter this, the Minnesota Twins decided to install some sort of angled apron that would come down and cover a bunch of the right field upper deck seats, appearing as if it was just a feature of the stadium. And they also did have different large baseball cards that would cover it as well.
That's kind of cool.
Genius thing. Obviously, the Metrodome, a little bit ridiculous with all of those walled seats out beyond right field. Now, we all know
he also had the speakers hanging from the top where the balls would get stuck sometimes.
In order to host not only the Atlanta Braves, but also the 1996 Summer Olympics. You can see the extended seating and the track going all the way around, and you can also see how the original configuration was also built for baseball with the backstop and where home plate would be. But after the Olympics were over and all the extra seats were removed, they did keep some of the original supports for the extended seats outside of the stadium. Globe Life Field, unfortunately, suffered a terrible fate in the mid-2010s when it was deemed unusable due to the sun. And there was a little-known last-ditch effort made by the Texans in the mid-2010 field, unfortunately, for the extended seats outside of the stadium. Globe Life Field, unfortunately, suffered a terrible fate in the mid-2010s when it was deemed unusable.
Looks like a golf course.
Due to the sun. And there was a little-known last-ditch effort made by the Texas Rangers to save Globe Life Field. You can see by these renderings the massive overhang going around the entirety of the stadium. It got so bad with Globe Life Field and the Texas Heat, they couldn't play day games. They had to play their Sunday games at 6:05 at night because the heat was so unbearable. Well, they have since changed the stadium to host football, but of course, Globe Life Field,
I mean, it's still hot when you play football.
In the early 1990s as an MLB stadium. It was not multi-purpose. The stadium could not fit a football field, so they had to remove the lower section down the third baseline in order to fit a football field and allow for football
at least they
and
didn't
soccer
let it go to
be
waste.
played. The old Astrodome was certainly a revolution. It was actually designed to be MLB's first semi-translucent roof with little slits in the top of the ceiling going all the way around that would have let in natural light. However, many players complained about the glare from the natural light on pop-ups, and they had to cover up one of the sections of the Astrodome's roof, but it actually wasn't the first attempt by MLB to have a translucent roof. That came in the 1950s when the Brooklyn Dome was proposed. This was the idea of keeping the Dodgers in Brooklyn, and you can see the magical orb globe in the rendering surrounding the stadium on what it could have potentially looked like. Also, the Brooklyn Dome would have included a shopping mall as well, but of course it was never built, and the Dodgers moved to LA. Back in the 1990s, when the Oakland Coliseum was receiving its catastrophic Mount Davis renovation, the A's played through it. You can see construction with full-blown cranes out beyond the outfield as the game is going on, and the weird warped sections of seats going up that would eventually configure for multi-purpose. But did you know that the Oakland Coliseum has since received a renovation? Yes, it is curious. You would think one of the worst stadiums in MLB would be renovated at least a little bit better than this, but they did decide to put in a restaurant beyond the outfield. You can see there's some standing room areas. They also renovated a little picnic area on the other side. I would consider this the equivalent of trying to shovel water out of the Titanic using a bucket. Tropicana Field was
Hmm.
finished in 1991, but it didn't host the Tampa Bay Rays until 1998. No, the first professional team that Tropicana Field hosted was an NHL team. Yes, the Tampa Bay Lightning for 3 seasons in the mid-1990s played at the Trop, and I think that's the most fans the Trop has ever seen. But still, you can take a look at the unique seating configuration. Kind of
It's
reminds
kind of
me
neat,
of the
actually.
JMA Wireless Dome when Syracuse basketball is playing. That's not the only fun fact, though, about Tropicana Field. This one might be a little bit more bottom of the barrel. So Tropicana Field, one of the worst stadiums in baseball, did host a college football bowl game back for a few years, and one year in particular really stands out. It was the 2014 St. Petersburg Bitcoin Bowl.
Oh,
Bitcoin
jeez.
sponsored a bowl that was located at Tropicana Field in 2014. The price of Bitcoin around that time trading for roughly $320. The final
Good deal if you
useless
could get it.
MLB stadium fact brings us to Citi Field. Now, Citi Field, much like Comerica Park, was simply built too big. Now, they were able to manipulate the dimensions in left field rather easily because the original fence was so large, they were able to build underneath it a little party deck. But in right center field, things are a little bit different. You can see the very strange dead zone located in between the bullpens and the new fence after they brought it in. Really not much you can do with a situation like that, because when you alter field dimensions, you either have to go with a smaller wall or it's just going to look very strange. So they just have this weird dead zone in front of stands, in front of where the bullpens
I guess they could have made the
are.
bullpen
And
bigger,
unless they
but
reconfigure that entire area, they're always going to have that dead zone right there. But guys, that is going to do it for 20 random useless MLB stadium facts. Make sure you're following me on X. Link to that's always in the description.
In the truck world,
still, oops.
To live.
I was gonna say is probably easier to make the field smaller than it would be to make it bigger. Well, that was a good fun little time, wouldn't you say? It wasn't weird as I was hoping for, but it wasn't bad. And I think I'm gonna bust out one more game. Oops. What if I go through it? Bust out one more game before we call it. Where is it here? Where is it? Sorry, I downloaded a lot of demos, and then I deleted some, and so there's a bunch of empty things, and things aren't in alphabetical order the way I thought they were going to be. There it is. There we go. Sorry, I had two different things open there. I'm going to switch over to a little game called, or demo called PrinterSim. Let's see what our options are. We've got Windows, text speed, global volume, shake intensity, reality acceleration. That all sounds pretty ominous to me. So in this game, you are trying to print. Simple as that. How to play. Use, talk, drag, alt action, examine. Got it. Alright. Oh. The reality just loading in there on for me. Come on. changing my game category. Now, this is just the demo, though, so anyone who comes in looking for me to play the full game, I apologize. Talk to phone. Welcome to the PrinterSim demo. Glad to be here. Good to see you here, too. You're in for a ride. The devs would like to personally thank you for playing this demo. They will not take responsibility upon your psyche fracturing. The aim of the demo is simple. You need only print 20 pages of the report in 6 days. No more, no less. Anything else I should know? Well, I suppose there is one thing you might find interesting. When examining objects, how you respond is tied into your rage. But I never said that. Bye. Okay. Print off report. Start printing. Alright. Everything seems to be in order. Oh, the old throbbler. It's the throbbler. Everyone knows what the throbbler does. Without it, the printer wouldn't work. Fair enough. The PUS operating systems. Let's print some paper. Out of ink. Buy some ink. Okay. Alright, that's fine. I'll just buy some ink. Gotta go to the printer shop to get some ink. Ink cartridges. I'll have that, please. It's a packet of ink cartridges. I'll need something sharp to open it. Saffron? No thanks. CD. A repair kit. Paper. Sir, please do not waste our time if you do not have enough money. If you require more funds, you can always sell items using the money bin. It should be displayed on your HUD in the bottom right corner. As I presume you are also a man of taste and have already purchased one. We need to emphasize its temporal market technology streamlines the commodity surplus differential. Please return once you have reached a satisfactory degree of wealth. Acquire ink funds. Alright, what's in my inventory right now? Oh, nothing. That's not good. Close my inventory. Alright. So I can't do anything right now. Gotta go back there. Go to the live. At least my house is right next to the, Alright, I probably don't need this umbrella. I have a hat. I don't really need the hat. I don't need a key hook. Alright, so I need to acquire some ink funds. Oops, my mistake. I have $302, so I can go to the print shop now. Oh, sorry, my bad. I thought I had enough. Oh, for those of you wondering, the music is not diegetic, or is not in the game, I should say. I don't need an You look like a motherfucking Towel. I do need a towel. Oh, I just want to put it on the floor. Nope, okay. But I don't need a towel rack. Oh, can't move it. Okay, fair enough. Do need a bath. Shower curtain's probably a good idea. I don't need a bath mat. Well, if I don't have a hat, I don't need a hat rack. I'm not selling Chester. Fucking potted plant. Drinks cabinet. Cheap gin. Don't need it. Alright. Got enough money now. I can purchase... Oh, what's that? Oh, so it's the umbrella I sold. Oh. Ka-chink. Perfect. Now I can go and print. Inventory. Put the ink cartridges. Oh, I need to take the cartridges out of the packet first. Open the ink packet. Alright, I need something sharp to open the ink packet. Cheap vodka. Bedroom. Kitchen. There's got to be something sharp in the kitchen. A knife. Oh, that. There we go. Got myself some ink now. Perfect. Now we'll go to the printer. Does it tell me which of these is out? Magenta, yellow, cyan, and black. And black. There we go. Now I can print. There we go. Uh-oh, an unknown error. Oh dear. The deading room. Report page. First, I opened the kimono and assess the current state of our cash flow with regards to our bleeding-edge moderated longevity practices. Following that is a brief idea shower of potential blue sky out-of-the-box synergistic nouveau stratagems for moving the needle further. Finally, I propose a set of value-oriented action items to really kick this operation into the next quantum leap. Any other corpos in chat? Sounds pretty accurate to me. Okay, well that page seems to be okay. Print to save integrated business agile analysis. This report is a holistic mind share of the current playing field situation vis-a-vis the moderated longevity of our products and the respective value packages. As junior member of the crack SWAT Tiger team, I periscoped in on their global assessment and documented the team's learnings. Yep, this sounds pretty accurate to me. Alright, seal throttle. Oh, everything seems to be okay now, so let's go back. Close that. Print. Paper jam. Uh-oh. That's okay, I can fix that. Perfect. Why? Please, anybody who's ever dealt with printers knows that 2 pages to then printer jam is not a problem. Maybe I should read my book. The Rise and Fall of Gigawatt. Nope, okay. Go! I guess I'm very mad. What? I can't put the vodka in the glass? That's not a spoon, that's a knife. Okay, I guess I had to drink it straight from the bottle. Ding. Uh-oh, misprint. Access denied. That's okay. Go to Next page. Next page. Alright, so we got 3 pages. That's fine. Uh-oh, I have to go calm down now. Alright. I'm gonna clear this out first. Put it right in there. Go to the burn room. Ooh, portal. Lift up the despair membrane. I have no ass and I must shit. Okay, maybe a nice relaxing shower. Oh yeah, we'll get bad accumulation. Who wrote this garbage? I guess I'm in a bad mood. Oh, it's the vaporwave room. How does it feel to be beautiful, marble man? So hunky, still marble. Sure, sleeping will make me feel better. There, all better. Let's print some more. Oh, got ink. Okay, I've got 4 pages now, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's not so bad. But I only have $6. Well, since I can't interact with the phone, I can probably sell my phone stand. Or maybe I can't. This thing is heavy. Ah, I can't because it's too heavy. I don't need that. Oops. I could probably sell this urn. Go get some more paper or some more ink. Ching! Perfect. And it's so convenient being located directly next to the... Oh, out of ink. Right. At least I don't have to get another thing to open it with. Oh, do I have to take the old ones out first? Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear my kitty in the background there. Alright, let's see what's going on. I gotta put my new ones in, so I got my cyan cartridge, put it in there. My yellow cartridge, put it in there. Got my black cartridge, since it gave me all that trouble before, I'll put it in first. I'll put it in first. Yep. And then my magenta. Ta-da! Perfect. Oh, I've got rid of the paper jam, I've got new ink. Everything seems to be in order. Print. 2 pages. 3. 4. I'm almost at ink though. 5. 6. Unknown error. That's okay, I can fix that. I'm almost at ink anyway. Three, 4, 5, 6. Everything seems to be in order. The error was probably just that I had printed too much. Sometimes it doesn't like having extra paper. Did I get another? No, I didn't get another page. Okay. Oh, I should have closed it probably. That's alright, let's see what we got here. Maybe I'll just read a book. Selection of children's fairy tales. Hansel and Gretel, Little Red Riding Hood, Strange Boy and the Strange Fellows, Snow Whit, When the Grangle Grangled Christmas. Nope. Nope, okay, I can't interact with it. Guess I'll just put it back on the shelf. Does that make me feel better? It's my lovely little lava lamp. Reminds me of my experimental days. I want to get washer day. Oh, finish that gosh darn report for work. Lego man. Chomp. There, that's much better. And now some cabbage. There, see, I'm hardly angry at all. I'll eat this sausage. There we go, perfect. Much better. I'll just print a little bit more now. Now that I've closed everything, it should be fine. Oh, that ink. Okay. Oh. Missing account. I shouldn't have clicked on those things. It made me mad. Better eat some more food. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. I'll just down this jug of milk. Eat these dozen eggs. And this stick of butter. Perfect. How much money do I have? $15. That's okay, I can work with that. That's ice cream. Well, I don't need a knife block. I'm just going to carry the knife around. Probably don't need that. And I'm clearly not going to be cooking anything. What do I have now? $80. Anything in here? Plates. Who needs plates? Oh, I guess I did. That's better. $110. Anything in the bed? I mean, I could sell that, but I'd rather not. I have one shirt. Oh, what the heck is that? Okay. Nope. Really want to get rid of the Venetian blinds we bought on our honeymoon. Ceiling light that keeps the room nice and bright. We can't get rid of the phone. Probably shouldn't get rid of the toilet roll. I'll put down the toilet lid. What am I at? I'm at $150. $5 for a bath mat, not worth it. A rug, a lamp, record frame. I mean, there's only one of me. My cabinet. That's definitely enough. $319. Perfect. Now I can go and probably buy some food as well as some ink. At least the price of the ink isn't going up. Oops. Wait, how much money do I have? Oh, I don't have enough because it's 350. I thought it was 250. Okay, I'll sell something else. Useless crap, big printer, etc., etc. Oh, I don't need all these books, and that one was stupid. I don't really want to get rid of that. Can I get rid of the fire? No. Okay. Put the fire gourd. 353. Perfect. I'll take that, my good sir. Now, before I do anything stupid, I should probably... Whoops. Sleep. Because that should make me a bit less angsty. There we go. All nice and tidy. Get rid of these. Oops. Try that again. 1. 3, and 4. Come on, magenta. Come on, magenta. There we go. Let's start with the black one and see if it still gives me the most trouble. Nope. And see, what I should have done is chosen to print in black and white or grayscale. That would have saved some ink in the long run. Close it. Oh, still having an error though. The old throbbler. Oh, I need to upgrade. I need to replace my throbbler. Okay, that's fine. I can do that. And I'll take the broken one. How much is a throbbler, my good man? No, I don't need the paper right. Repair kit. Oh no, was I supposed to repair the throbbler instead of replacing it? This is all the things I sold. I shouldn't have. And now how much money do I have? $28. Alright, you know what? Now it's getting to me. That's enough of that. That was definitely a PrinterSim. No denying that that was a PrinterSim, absolutely. I think on that note, I'll call it. I'm still awake. Actually, hang on, let me check something. I mean, there's nobody watching right now anyway, so it doesn't. That's it. Yeah. Fun enough time. Come back to some of that later. I might even stream tomorrow. Who knows? But for now, let's do a raid. Let's raid Eros. I always enjoy their streams. Anybody who's there. Counting down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Raid now.